Morning, what's going on? It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? I appreciate you. Thank you very much for being here on today's show. It is Monday. It is May 12th. I hope that you have had an amazing weekend, and I hope that you are ready for another week in May. Today on the show, the meat of the show, will be talking about our number 25 player in my Alabama top 25 player football rankings. We'll be discussing Lotzeir Brooks on the back end of the show. You look to Alabama's freshman class, got a chance to see these freshmen compete in the springtime. Lotzeir Brooks, I mean, shoot. I think there was 3 freshmen that have in these top 25 rankings, and they were all interchangeable 1, 2, or 3. So, could I get an early thumbs up on Lotzeir Brooks? And then I started playing, and you'll see this later on in the show when we get there. I started wondering how many yards that he'll catch for this year. And I started putting together the numbers paired in with the question that I've been asking. Will Ty Simpson throw for 3,500 yards? Yo, it's for Alabama to be able to distribute the football to their wide receivers, to feed all these guys. I am so excited to see how Ryan Grubb, what he's going to do with all these wide receivers. So that'll be the meat of the show. But before we get into that, before we open the show, let's give some morning shout outs. And today is the continuation of today's Alabama Tusk Camo full zip Bama hoodie. All right. So, and if you're waiting on gear, we sent out a big shipment this morning. So Angel, we got you taken care of. Ruben, Chad, Dan. And in today's hoodie so far, I have Chris Waltman, Dan Caraway, Patriot Life, Chad Kennedy, Justin Weaver, Ephraim, Lisa Lucht. You guys are checked in. And if I mention your name, you guys have been locked in for the hoodie, for today's hoodie. Bama_YouTube, Cash App Bama YouTube. How this works, you have 3 entries. To get into the hoodie, I'll let you know if you hit us up with the Cash App or Bama YouTube, and then we'll spin the pinwheel at the back end of the show. All right. Yeah, so in this gear right here, the Alabama Tusk Camo hoodie that we're raffling today, it's part of Athletes Thread, who is in partnership with the University of Alabama. So this is officially licensed merchandise that you can get from Athletes Thread. If you want to just directly go to Athletes Thread and buy the gear, feel free and do it. All that goes back to the player themselves, right? So if you buy like this, Ryan Williams, this went back to Ryan Williams. Athletes Thread has a ton of great stuff, and you're right. $10 to entry, you get up to 3 chances, and then we'll spin the pinwheel. So I appreciate you guys being here. Let me while I give some shout outs, and while we do the morning shout out and let everybody get checked in, how was you guys' weekend on a scale of 1 to 10? Is it a 10 out of 10? I would say mine was pretty high. I always have, good weekends. It was pretty chill. I didn't do anything extraordinary. Last night I made some meatball subs, I guess you could call it. But the problem is it rained so much. It rained. I'm not kidding you. It rained pretty much Friday, all day Saturday. It even rained a little bit yesterday on Mother's Day, and we forgot. Yo, if you're a mom out there and you're watching the show, happy Mother's Day. We hope that you had an amazing weekend. Hope you got flowers, some food. Salute to all of our wonderful mothers out there. There's nothing like a mother's love. All right, so let's see who's checked in today's show. We'll give some shout outs. Caitlin the boss, what's up, man? Good to see you. We got Max Tooney on the mic test. We got Herman checking in, of course. We got Southern Red. Good morning to you. I appreciate you being here. Herman, what's up, man? Good morning. Good to see you. Chris from New Jersey, always checking in. Nick Harden, what's up, man? Good morning to you. Chad Kennedy, I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for being here. Brady G, good morning. Happy Monday. Let's keep it rolling. Who else we got up in here? Javion, my boy, man. What's up? Good to see you. Hey, Derek, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for watching. I know you're right here in Tuscaloosa. Alex Wilder, what's up, bro? Cowboy, man. What's going on? Good to see you up inside the comment box. Anita, what's going on? Yeah, this hoodie, get yours at Athletes Thread. That's where I got mine. McCollum, what's up, man? coming to us from Thailand. That's amazing. Robert Hell, good morning to you. I appreciate you being here. Marcus Cottrell, good morning, man. What's up? Now, we just got the show started, man. We're still in kind of the opening mode. And Southern Red, good morning to you as well. DJ, what's up? And Dan Caraway, what's up, man? Appreciate you so much. All right, so raffle's still open for this Alabama Tusk Camo full zip hoodie. $10 to enter, up to 3 entries. Bama_YouTube on Venmo, Cash App Bama YouTube. We'll spin the pinwheel at the back end of the show. Money Mondays. Ooh, I like that. Miss Careless, I see you. Good to see you. All right. This week here in Birmingham/Hoover, you have the region's tradition, right? You get Nick Saban, all right, the GOAT. You get Kalen DeBoer. You get Nate Oates. They'll be competing on Wednesday in a charity golf tournament. It's kind of part of the summer fabric for these, celebrities from the University of Alabama. And Saban, just like me, I love golf, as I frequently talk about. Well, Saban does too. And Saban, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a quick little story. He'll be teeing off. Actually, you know what? He got paired up. Look at this oddball group. Wouldn't you love to just ride around in the back of the cart and just listen to these guys? Can you imagine the entertainment from Barkley and Nick Saban? No, I'm serious, because every single round you play a round of golf. It's 4 hours, a little over 4 hours. If it's raining, hopefully it doesn't go to 5 hours, but you get to know somebody who you're playing. This should be filmed. I'm serious. This should be filmed by the Golf Network. It should be on TV, and it should be like uncensored. You have Barkley and Coach Saban together, teeing off on Wednesday. All right, the Regions Pro-Am. So I went to Chuck Sushi. I think it was last year at some point in time. I was having some sushi, and in rolled Cedric. I've been to Chuck's a few times, like everybody here in Tuscaloosa. It's our top restaurant. And Cedric's, every time I went there, remember Cedric? Cedric was like, the guy for Coach Saban. And I'm sitting there at the sushi bar. And, I said, what's up, Cedric? And he's to himself, everybody, what's up, this and that. So we start golf. He asked the chef or the waitress or the hostess to change it to the golf channel, right? So we put on the Golf Network and we're watching it. And we start talking about golf, exchanging some stories. He told me that there's nobody better at reading the greens ever that he's ever played with than Coach Saban. So you can look it up. Coach Saban is I think his handicap is probably like 8. So, if you know anything about golf, the lower the handicap, the better you are. So Coach Saban is phenomenal at golf. He's a really good player. Really loves to fine tune it. And Barkley, what he's known about is kind of like the ridiculous swing that he has. So anyways, I just saw that these two are matched up, and I was like, I can't wait to see it. So this will be a Wednesday, and we'll be covering it as it happens. But it's all about the short game, right? It's all about golf. All right, our boy Josh Pate, he just released his top 10 college football rankings, right? Way too early rankings. Everybody's doing it. I don't think there's anybody as good right now in the industry as Josh Pate, to be honest. I think that we can all agree on that. What he's been able to do in terms of building up his product and, what he's done for CBS, what he's done on his own. Some people have it. He certainly has it. So we salute Josh Pate and his continued growth. And I don't know, maybe he should be on this college football commission with Coach Saban and, the billionaire from Texas Tech. Somebody who certainly gets it from an overall perspective. I think we all agree Josh Pate is one of those guys. So I think last week we looked at Joel Klatt's top 25. And today we're looking at the Pate State post-spring rankings, right? All right, so this is what we're looking at so far. He has Clemson. He's another guy, obviously, that has Clemson very high. I don't know if I really want to ride on this Clemson train, but a lot of people have been riding them really high. The same thing with Penn State. Penn State and Clemson are two teams that I just can't get on board with during the springtime. I don't know. So, look, I like Clemson's quarterback. He's coming back, very talented. really, really impressive numbers on Pro Football Focus, good weapons to work with. I don't know. Am I the only? Yeah, no, hundreds. Am I the only one that isn't on board with Josh Pate? Seriously. I don't know. I like, obviously, I like the rankings, but I'm saying Clemson. I'm not buying Clemson. I don't think I put them in at number one. I could see Texas, some arguments for Texas, but man, people, top analysts love Penn State and love Clemson. And see, that's the thing. What Todd says inside the comment box is like, I think Clemson will probably be there, at the top, because they play in the ACC. I would imagine they win the ACC. But in terms of like a true contender, I don't know. I'm just not buying it. And the AAC is not it, clearly. Right? Herman, you're on board? Okay. What's up, Cowboy? This is what Cowboy has to say inside the comment box. The only reason that everybody is so high on Clemson is because of their returning starters percentage being higher than all college football. Yeah. And I've seen people have Penn State as number one too. So, I mean, they returned their quarterback clearly. They lost a lot. And the thing about Penn State is I don't think that their coach, Franklin, I don't think that he can really take them the distance. I think there'll be some slip-ups. But again, like, if I had to start looking at teams who have a shot to make the playoffs way before the season's even started, I think based on schedule and how things are set up for some of these teams and based on how they pick the teams, Penn State has a great shot to get in. Clemson has a great shot to get in. The Mountain West will get one team in. That's 3. Notre Dame will get in. That's 4 spots that I could already tell you that are going to be in the playoffs. And while all that is happening, those teams have easy roads to get there, just like Indiana did last year. Alabama has a gauntlet of a schedule, right? So, Patriot Life, what's up, man? So, Patriot Life with the important update inside the comment box. So, you all know our good friend Jenny, who is battling stage 4 cancer, right? She's a huge Alabama football fan. We met her last spring. She shared her story with us. And Patriot Life, myself, a couple other people met her during spring, and we've been keeping up with her. She chimes in from time to time, but it sounds like she's going through it. I mean, stage 4 cancer, and there's a pink ribbon that's an emoji inside the comment box. If you could just hit that, I'll try to screen record it and send it to her. But, thoughts and prayers out to Jenny. She is such a wonderful person, and, there's a lot of people that are clearly affected by different things. I lost a good friend a couple years ago to cancer, and it's tough. It's difficult. So there's a lot. That is way bigger than anything else. So prayers out to you, Jenny. If you somehow catch a show, know that we are thinking about you and that we love you. So thanks for the update too, Patriot Life. I really appreciate that. All right, see, we got a lot of support inside the comment box for Miss Jenny. Really good person. Let's see who else. Coach Pate. Coach Pate? Who else Coach Pate has? He's actually one of the only ones that I've seen so far. I haven't looked at all like the top 10, rankings out there, but he's one of the only ones that I think that has Alabama in his top 5, right? And I don't, he seems pretty neutral, but I think, he cut his teeth at, covering Alabama, and he was just here. He talked to Coach Kalen DeBoer, and I think that he understands what this team really has coming back, right? Being, close to the program, talking to Coach Kalen DeBoer. I mean, look at this. Number 4, I think he's the only one that has him in the top 5. I don't even know if I would put Alabama in the top 5, to be honest. I cover Alabama football every single day. LSU seems a little bit too high to me as well. I don't know. That seems a little high. Ohio State seems a little low. Oklahoma's a little bit surprising, and that is kind of scary because Alabama hosts them, when you had John Mateer at quarterback. I kind of like that sleeper pick. I don't know. Everyone's top 10 is different on board. Pate is the only one that I've seen has Alabama within the top 5. Everybody's kind of had Alabama a little bit lower. But anyways, you know, Pate high in Alabama. In fact, he said this recently on the Next Round Live, who has a great product as well. The Next Round Live, killing it. I would imagine that either, you know, On3 buys them or they buy On3 or who knows. I mean, these guys are absolutely just top of the industry. He said this recently on the Next Round. He said, I would expect them to be in the playoffs. Pate said on the Next Round, I would expect them to compete for the SEC championship this year. That's going to be very difficult to do. I mean, even somebody, I'm bullish on Alabama that they're a better football team. I just think that there's other teams that have easier routes to the SEC title game. I think there's other teams that don't, you know, play the road schedule that Alabama's going to play. And if you really wanted to be devil's advocate against Alabama, there's some games out there that are going to be ultra challenging that are on the road. I think the team will certainly be better than last year. Hey, Patriot Life, appreciate you, bro, with the super chat, man. Thank you so much. Put you in for the camo drip too. Patriot Life, Patriot Life. It's Me Marvin fires back and he says, we just need to make the playoffs and stay healthy. North Alabama Storm Chase says, if you put 10 of those teams in the playoffs, who wins it all? Kind of going back to this graphic. Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to tell, you know, in the month of May, but I don't know. It's interesting not to see Georgia in here, I guess, right? This is kind of the first, and that's what we were talking about last week is this the year that we start to see Georgia take steps back? And that's just not because they're a rival school of Alabama. I refer to them as a rival. They played several times. You know, great coach who was over here. I consider them a rival. I don't know. I think at some point in time Georgia might take a step back, but then again, people think that Alabama's taking a step back, right? They had a down year last year. I don't know if that was a completely step back. I mean, this year will be a real big turning point for Alabama in a positive way. But I don't think that Georgia's going to fall off. That's why it's interesting to see them not in the top 10 right here. And I don't know. I didn't hear Pate talk about his top 10, but I would imagine that a lot of the reason that he has Oklahoma in his top 10 is because of John Mateer, and a lot of the reason he has Georgia out of his top 10 is because they have Gunnar Stockton, right? You know, Julian Sain with Ohio State has a lot of pressure on him as well. This is interesting. Tony says that Georgia is not our rival. I mean, you know, it's the two teams have played quite often. And the thing is, Alabama is, what have they won the last 9 out of 10 times? I'll tell you what, the last time they were over here for this crazy game in Tuscaloosa, I don't know how it was set up, but Georgia fans were tailgating way down on University, like as far out as you could be. Like they must have kicked them out so far. And they were the nastiest fans. I'm serious. They were yelling and they were screaming. Maybe they're not like an overall traditional rival, but I think they're up there. I don't know. I kind of feel like they're a rival. I mean, clearly the rivals are Auburn and Tennessee, but, you know, Alabama fans get up to play Georgia, and I think vice versa. Marcus chimes in and says, I'm higher on Georgia than Oklahoma. Oklahoma lost a ton of talent. See, but the thing is, that's how good that quarterback is. So depending on the weapons that they have to work with, I don't know. I think Oklahoma will probably be a little bit better than people anticipate as well. Max Tooney's like had to put Georgia fans in the nearest the kennel. I'm telling you, man, they were fired up. They were going crazy. Last week we talked about the schedule, and we feel really confident about Alabama making the playoffs. So we're in line with Pate, right? SEC championship, going to be tough to do. I mean, that's kind of always the expectation to get there. I don't know. We'll have to see. A lot of it just depends on the schedule that you're playing. Like I said, better football team this year, tougher schedule. All right, are you even following this? Young man, Cedarian Morgan, right? Top prospect in the state of Alabama, wide receiver. Did a short video on him yesterday. He's got, some schools that he's choosing from: Colorado, Clemson, Auburn, Georgia, Florida. Showcased his highlights a little bit yesterday. What's the interesting thing is 6'4", 210, monster. He plays out of the slot. I said he's a must-get. People said that he's not a must-get. I don't know. But I sure as hell would love for Coach Kalen DeBoer and Courtney Morgan to wrap him up. Now, he's committing in July, and Alabama is getting his last official visit. Has anybody seen his highlights? I could pull them up if you wanted to, but I have a video that went out yesterday talking about him. He just went to Colorado. Chris is saying it's all about money where he goes. Maybe so. I think that Colorado is still attractive for a lot of players because of Coach Prime, right? And kind of the megaphone that he has as a personal brand. Yeah, I felt that way too, man, about Cedarian Morgan, that he's a must-get. And one of the reasons that I would like to get him is I'm still high on these in-state prospects. I think last year, I don't think necessarily Alabama avoided in-state prospects. I think that they went elsewhere to get their needs. And as you can see from the class of 2025, they got what they wanted because these guys are going to contribute this year. This particular year, you have Xavier Crowell, who reclassified the running back, and Cedarian Morgan. This will be a huge addition. Now, a lot of people feel it could become down to Auburn and Alabama. Max says Boulder is attractive for the party lifestyle. Yeah, look, Boulder is great. I don't know if they have better parties than Tuscaloosa. I mean, Tuscaloosa has some of the biggest parties I've ever seen for a university. Let me ask you real quick inside the comment box. Where do you think that Cedarian Morgan ends up? Post inside the comment box. Do you think it's between Alabama, Auburn? I don't give predictions and stuff like that. That's more for like a Steve Whitfong or those type of guys. But if it comes down to like a bidding war, I guess you got to think, just as Brian said inside the comment box, Yellowwood has that edge over everybody. But look, Alabama, one of the things that Alabama isn't broke. I think sometimes people think like Alabama's broke. They didn't lose anybody to the transfer portal. I don't think they just walked in and said, hey, who's buying in? Raise your hand if you think we have a shot this year. I think all those guys got paid. I think maybe there are some things behind the scenes to where there's some major donors behind the scenes. Is like, we can take care of all of you. And I think that NIL and a lot of that, some of the other schools had just more money and maybe were a little bit more organized out the gates. But I think Alabama is now leveled off, and I think Alabama has as much money, to be honest, as much as anybody outside of like Texas and Texas A&M. But I think there's like Texas A&M, Texas, Ohio State, and I don't think Alabama is too far behind. Well, I think a lot of people are in the red, depending on when you look to the athletic budget. But overall, I mean, Think about this, all right? I know this is going to be very unpopular, what I'm about to say, okay? But this is the truth. I'm going to stop the music so you can hear. Listen up, okay? I'm curious to see what happens over the next, I don't know, couple of years, depending on what shakes down with like NIL and stuff, because right now the assistant coaches are making so much money. And I wonder if the universities are still going to pay that much for assistant coaches, or if they'd rather have bigger name players. Do you see what I'm saying? For example, like you could look it up real quick, and we can look up the Alabama football coaching salaries, right? And I'm serious. I think this is going to have to be looked at. And this is just from last year. So this has been updated clearly, right? But when you look to the salary, I mean, Kane Womack, this is last year, 1.5. Nick Sheridan is making 1.3. I think he's still making that, right? You had to pay Ryan Grubb. So I'm kind of wondering, let's see if I can get an updated one for 2025. So 2025, let's see, this is from Tide Sports, part of the Tuscaloosa News. Nick Sheridan making 1.5 or 1.3, Womack 1.5, Kalen 10, right? Chuck Morrell, 600,000. Inside linebackers. Byron Ellis making 600,000. So I'm kind of wondering, like, that $600,000 that you're using to pay like Byron Ellis, the tight ends coach, who needs that money more? Do you need him? Does he need that money more? Does Ryan Williams, right? Or, you know, one of your higher level prospects? What if Keelan Russell needs more money? Are you like, okay, look, we're paying Robert Gillespie $850,000. We're paying Coach Kapilovic $925,000. Like, Alabama isn't broke. Look how much they're paying their assistant coaches. And, you know, they're probably paying their elite level players the same amount. So I don't know. I mean, look, Mo Lindquist getting $975,000. Jay Nunez getting $4. I mean, if you're looking for, you know, Freddie Roach is getting $1.2. Christian Robinson getting $700,000. Jamarcus Shepard getting $1.1. So I'm wondering, Jamarcus Shepard makes $1.1. So I'm wondering if, like, down the road, if the university is like, man, we need players because players put people in the stands. People in the stands buy the merchandise, buy the tickets, and that's how we pay for everything else. Yeah, but I don't think Alabama's broke at all. I think they have, right after the big three, I think they have billions. So who knows where Sadarian Morgan ends up. I hope it's Alabama because this kid he fit very nicely with the wide receivers. All right, back to Camo. This is called Hide the Tide, right? Athlete's Thread. You can go and this is Bray Hubbard on the left, and you can get Ty Simpson, this type of gear, through Athlete's Thread. Grubb is making like $1 million now because I think he's still making some from the Seahawks, but next year he'd probably be making like maybe 3.5 here. I think that's what the going grade is. He'll be the highest paid offensive coordinator next year, 100%. So think about this, between Ryan Grubb and Coach Kalen DeBoer, that's $14 million. Right? $14 million, and I think the baseline that they want to use the budget to pay the players is like, what, $25 million? So. All right, I wanted to develop a top 25 Alabama football players list. So I started yesterday, and number 25 is Lotzeir Brooks. Can we get a thumbs up for Lotzeir Brooks inside the comment box? Yo, this young man is absolutely so talented. To be honest, I knew he was going to be very good. I just didn't anticipate him being that good. Because you have a lot of slot wide receivers. That's an inside position for the wide receivers who are competing for playing time. I think Lotzeir Brooks, if Ryan Williams is the starter at slot, then Lotzeir Brooks is going to be right behind him. Ryan Williams is a different breed. He can play outside. He can play inside. Ryan Williams at the slot is the most terrifying thing for the opposition. And if he needs to play outside, he can play outside, and you can put Lotzeir Brooks right next to him. Lotzeir Brooks can't play on the outside. Not because he's not talented enough, he's just undersized. So when you get a player like Lotzeir Brooks, and as I said, there's 3 freshmen that will be in my top 25, and I think all of them could have been interchangeable. These are just my top, straight up top 25 players. And I have Lotzeir Brooks at number 25. Here's a look at the Alabama wide receiver room. I'll go full screen so you can kind of look at all of this. Look at all these guys. I have, let's see, Isaiah Horton in the rankings. I have Ryan Williams in the rankings. I have Jalen Hell in the rankings. And I have Lotzeir Brooks. There's a couple guys that, you know, that I didn't put in. It's like, no disrespect, but, man, I'm ranking the top players, and these are who I think the top players are. And I love me some Rico Scott, and I love me some Cole Adams, and, you know, Bubba Hampton was hurt. And Derek Meadows, you know, blew me away for this A-Day practice. But Lotzeir Brooks is a different cat. Even Bray Hubbard was like, yo, he's a menace. Yeah, I have Bernard in there. I have Bernard in the top 25. So then I started doing this. Stay with me here. I was like, okay, how many yards do you think each guy will catch for, right, this year? So I just put together some rough numbers. This is a lot of yards, and I was like, damn, how are they going to get the ball to all these guys? And there's one name missing from this that I didn't even add because he's not a wide receiver. I'm adding the numbers out now. This comes out to 4,100 yards right here. And we're not even adding in Josh Cuevas. You got to think that Josh Cuevas, how many yards is he going to catch for? Probably like, what, another 300? So we're looking at 4,400 yards. That's 4,100 yards right there on the screen. Ryan Williams going to go for 1,000 easy. Isaiah Horton, he's got to get fed. I didn't know where to put Jerry Bernard in terms of yards. Right? Exactly. And this doesn't have Jalen Mbakwe. This doesn't have, you know, Bubba Hampton or Derek Meadows. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, does Jalen Hell catch for 400 yards? Who catches for more yards this year? Let me ask you this. Oh, Jam Miller. You know, he's going to catch for like, what, 220? Maybe. Let me ask you right now, inside the comment box, who catches for more yards between these 3 right here? Jalen Hell, Rico Scott, Lotzeir Brooks. Who catches for more yards after the big 3? That's a tough question. I mean, I want to say Jalen Hell kind of out of respect and the fact that, you know, he's kind of that guy when he's 100%. But damn, and Rico Scott, shoot. Chad Kennedy saying hell. Alabama Renegade is saying, a lot of people saying Lotzeir. I know. I don't know. Max Tooney's like, it's embarrassing. Yes. And this isn't the whole room. This is the room. Look, this is the room. This is just a make-believe of who could catch what. Jarvis chimes in from the comment box, says, at least we know Ryan Williams won't be targeted 20 times in one game. You know, I sometimes still think about that. Someone's been tweeting it on X. I'm sure you guys have seen it. And it's Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams is running around the field. He was open up like 3 times. Have you seen this? And then Milroe throws the ball way out of bounds. It happened. We're not making it up. Like, it happened. I never seen it. The only time that I saw a player get targeted that much, who was the wide receiver for LSU the year before? He had like 18 targets. I think in this game, Ryan Williams had like 22. Yeah, Lance, you saw that, right? Where he was just running around the field. He was just open everywhere. Javion Smith inside the comment box says Meadows be a sleeper. Yeah, he looked damn good too. Larry Large, what's up, man? Good to see you. Lisa Luck, good morning to you. Lisa's pointing out that Brooks owns South Jersey records for most catches. Yeah, I think he had like 4,500 yards in high school. Crazy. See, I'm with you, Lance. There's 100% chance that Cuevas gets like more than 200 yards. That's why I don't know. At first, it kind of seemed like a baseline question. Will Ty Simpson get 3,500 yards? But now that you think about it, you're like, damn, 4,000 might be the appropriate number. But we also have to factor maybe there's a couple games where, Keelan has opportunities or Austin Mack, and these guys come in here and, kind of bump up the stats for some of these, other wide receivers underneath the big three. Hey, Guy Barnes, can we get some prayers up for Guy Barnes? Hang in there, buddy, man. We love you, bro. We got definitely a lot of people in here that are uplifting. So we'll add you to our board, you and Miss Jenny Cackney. So hang in there, brother. I know. Now I'm starting to think, Larry, I don't know. I'm starting to feel more bullish about 3,500 yards myself, too, after looking. And, look, I made these numbers up myself. I literally got on here and just added these numbers. I had a calculator, and I was trying to get to over 35, and I was like, damn, this is closer to 4,000. But think about it. Maybe Ty throws for, like, 3,300, and you got, Keelan Russell and Austin Mack combined for, like, 1,000. Right? Then I started playing with this, and I was like, wow, what could be? So this is my just Lotzeir Brooks, like, dream, right? How you could use him. So in this particular setup against Tennessee, I'm going with quarterback number 1, Ty Simpson. I got Jam Miller in the backfield. I got Isaiah Horton up top. I got Ryan Williams right here, and I got Lotzeir Brooks and Jerry Bernard. This looks dangerous, like as dangerous as anything could be on the offensive side, right? I mean, I guess you could put Williams up top. You could put Cole Adams in here. There's a lot of guys to work with. On this outside, you could put Derek Meadows in a different situation. Who knows? I have no idea how this is going to work out. But if you have the two inside wide receivers, Lotzeir Brooks and Ryan Williams, damn. And prayers up for these guys over here. I don't know. Imagine Ryan Williams right underneath here dealing with Lotzeir Brooks on this outside takeoff. Jerry Bernard coming in here with the deep post, and then Isaiah Horton up here with the takeoff, being a big body wide receiver. That I mean, tough to deal with. Yeah, and of course it starts right here, right, with the offensive line. You got to be able to protect, and that's why I like Ryan Williams getting as many touches right here, going for over 1,000. Yeah, and like Ricky Smith is saying, this is it's a deadly lineup for sure, right? 100%. So, and in this particular setup last year, if we kind of zoom in real quick, one thing that I want to point out, when Alabama did go 4 wide, they used a tight end a lot of the time. And even when Ryan Grubb was at Washington, they kept the tight end on the field a lot. You never really saw 4 straight wide receivers, right? I think you will this year more times than you did at Washington, because in Washington has some really good wide receivers too. But I think that these Alabama wide receivers are just going to be too hard to keep off the field. Plus, I think Josh Cuevas is going to be really good. I just think those other wide receivers are just that good. You can't keep them on the sideline. So, anyways, that's, kind of the meat talking about our number 25 player, who's Lotzeir Brooks, who I think is going to be one hell of a player. Herman points out some X's and O's. All right. This is a blank canvas drawing. All right. We still have a few minutes before our raffle. I'll give you guys a few minutes. If you have a question inside the comment box, get it in. If you want to jump in the raffle, we'll spin the pinwheel for this Alabama Tusk Camo Full Zip hoodie on Athletes Thread. Ways to get into the raffle, Bama_YouTube, Cash App Bama YouTube. I'll leave it open for a few minutes. Then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll spin the pinwheel. So if you have a question inside the comment box, you can post it now. News as it happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube. You know, coming up this week, we'll continue to chop down the list of the top 25 players, you know, coming back for this coming season. You all know who number 1 is going to be, of course. But who's going to be number 2? Who's going to be number 2? I mean, I think when you start to look at the top 25 returners, it builds a lot of excitement because you realize, yo, this team is that good. I also will have coming out, I think I'm going to do like the toughest teams that Alabama's going to play this year, like kind of ranking them. All right, I'm going to take a quick break real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll spin the pinwheel right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're back. All right, our breaks don't last that long. I appreciate you guys rocking with me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Remember, if you want to get directly the gear, just go to Athletes Thread and type in your favorite player. So we'll rock it out right now. You guys ready for some pinwheel? Remember, a portion of this, the proceeds go back to the Tuscaloosa Soup Kitchen. I'll do it every quarter. So we made we met with them a couple weeks ago, and then we'll go back and, you know, go visit with them as well. I didn't realize there's a Tuscaloosa East Soup Kitchen. I just saw that on my way out to Birmingham the other day. So, all right, you ready? All right, we'll do it right now. 3, 2, 1. All right. No whammies. Remember whammies? All right, welcome into the Bama Football on YouTube raffle. Today we are raffling a camo pull-up. Pull-up. It's a onesie. It's not a onesie. It's a zip-up. We appreciate you guys playing in the raffle each and every day right here on Bama Football on YouTube. We're raffling out different Alabama gear. Some of the gear, most of the gear that we rock with goes from Athletes Thread or Fanatics. So if you want the direct gear and you just, you know, if you don't want to do the raffle, whatever, go into Athletes Thread or Team Fanatics. But right here, $10 to enter. Up to 3 raffles for most of the items that we have. We do a variety of gifts. Sometimes we do just a gift on us. And today we're doing the hoodie. So, or it's a zip up rather, but it has a hood. So I guess you could call it a hoodie. So if you do win, you email us and then we send out the gear to you. So that's my email if you win. Okay, guys, ready? 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. All right, Bama diapers. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Chad Kennedy, you're going to have like so many hoodies, bro. I don't even know what you're going to do with, man. Big Dom, what's up? Chad, you have my email, bro. You've won like 100 times. So appreciate you being inside the hoodie. We'll probably do, I'm trying to think too, what other gear that we could do. I'll run through the athletes thread and keep checking it out. So Chad stays hot as we keep it going through the summer season. So Alex was hot. Now Chad's hot. Dan got his as well. Angel won the hoodie. Angel won the hat. We sent out the hat. And Dan Caraway, we sent you out as well. So appreciate you guys, dude. Chad, you're hot, bro. You need to go out to Vegas or something like that. But as news happens, I got you covered right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for rocking with me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. News as it happens. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this fine Monday, May 12th. Kyle Anderson at Bama.